All right, welcome back everybody to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a 2023 Volkswagen ID.4. Let's take a look. So starting off as usual with the front end with these nice daytime running LEDs, and you get a good view of that main bulb in there, which does move with you at nighttime, which is very, very cool. It's something that comes on the Pro S package, which we are driving this week as well. Some nice fake vents though, and then at nighttime, that Volkswagen logo will light up and also join to the main headlights. Looks super cool at nighttime. It's actually my favorite view at nighttime, but the front of the car is also my favorite view just in general. You can see if I go back here, it just looks so great. And you have a bunch of sensors, no front facing camera because it just has a rear camera this year, but not a big deal. Overall, very, very effective for the Volkswagen ID.4's front end. So moving on to the side of the Volkswagen ID.4, you can see you got some nice 19-inch rims there. The rims are dirty, it's been raining. We've been driving in the mud just a little bit to get to the filming location, but you can see here on the side, we have the all-wheel drive Pro S badge. It's the only place you're gonna see that, as well as some nice turning signal accents, which I do like. And then you also have some fake doorknobs with just a sensor here. I don't know how well this is gonna do in the winter because it's currently summer, but these are actually fake. You have to press a button underneath and the door will open. Same thing with the rear. And then we have our little charging port on the side here as well. So you have your main port right here, and then you have this little thing that you can pull out for your DC fast charging, which is absolutely great. So overall, very, very cool side profile. I really do like the design. The overall design choice of it looks cool. It looks like a normal SUV rather than some type of spaceship. So if you're into that thing, then this is going to be perfect for you. So let's talk about some of the range and numbers for the Volkswagen ID.4. This year, we're getting an 82 kilowatt hour battery with the all-wheel drive version, but you only have 77 kilowatt hours that are usable. The range is around 410 kilometers, which is also pretty good. And that produces 295 horsepower, 339 pound-feet of torque. Volkswagen also says it'll do 0 to 100 kilometers in around 6 seconds, but let me tell you, it feels way faster than that. The Pro models for charging speed also get a 170 kilowatt hour DC fast charging speed. That will allow you to go from 10 to 80% in just around 30 minutes. But this week, I've honestly just been using the normal wall charger, and it's been keeping me anywhere from 80 to 100% and giving me about 6 kilometers an hour of range back, which has absolutely been excellent, and I haven't needed to visit a DC fast charger at all. So last but not least, we're taking a look at the rear of the Volkswagen ID.4. These taillights are the first thing that stood out to me when I looked at them. It looks like they pulled it right off of a Tesla, but it does actually match the body very, very well. And then another thing that's really cool is this illuminated Volkswagen logo in red. You can't change the color, unfortunately. I wish you could, because that'd be really, really cool. Then we have a nice rear wiper right here that should be right up underneath that spoiler, but it's okay because it's not snowing right now, so no problems. And then we have a very big diffuser here. Of course, no exhaust. This is an electric vehicle, but you can see we have a tow hitch, which is very, very cool as well. And this vehicle does offer the ability to tow. Nice ID.4 badge. And let's open up the trunk. You can also see the rear view camera is right there as well, which is very cool. But plenty of space inside this trunk. Absolutely no worries. You got that middle pass through that you can go through. And then the floor, you can lift it up. You have plenty of storage for some other stuff, or if you just want to take this floor out so you can have more vertical space, which is really cool. Some pockets on the side there, some really good grocery hooks. Overall, very, very nice space. And I love the fact that it's automatic, so really cool. Exactly what you'd expect from the Volkswagen ID.4, exactly what you'd expect from an EV SUV, so I've been very happy with it. But with all that great stuff being said, let's take a look on the inside of the Volkswagen ID.4 and let's see what that's got. Okay, so up first, we're gonna take a look at the back seat of the Volkswagen ID.4. Pretty nice space as you'd expect from an electric vehicle. You can see there's no standard stack there. There's no middle stack there, actually. And then we have a nice little door, some nice leather inserts, a little bit of piano black here on the sides, but let's actually hop in and see what it's got inside here. See what the driving position is like. So the seating position back here, this is my driver profile right here. I have enough room for my knees and my feet. Surprisingly less room than what we saw last week in the IONIQ 6, but enough room for an SUV. I've got a ton of headroom, and look at this, a panoramic moonroof, they're gonna call it. It doesn't open, but I'd rather have something like this that looks as cool as this, that you get so much views out of, rather than something that opens. I would take this all day. And you have a sunshade here that could actually come if you don't want all the sun to come in the cabin. But wow, 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 what a great job. What a big piece of glass, and I absolutely love it. Other than that, we do have some climate controls back here. I have them on right now because it's absolutely boiling outside here in Quebec. But we have heated seats here and USB-C. There's no USB-A at all in the car, so if you're not USB-C, you're kind of out of luck. There's some nice little interesting pockets here for some cell phones, some stuff down here too. Then we have, of course, this little thing here that's going to drop down for the cup holders, nice little armrest, and we have a trunk pass-through as well. This can fold down. You can see my chargers right back there. Very nice. The seats are kind of like indented. They do hug you. I do like the seating position in here. I feel very comfortable back here just to sit. Road trips probably wouldn't be that bad either. And we get a nice view of the front seat. Speaking of that, let's hop right up there. All right, let's hop up front in the Volkswagen ID.4. Open this big door up here. And you can see it's much of the same that we saw for the back seat, but the weirdest thing here is these little convenience things. So in order to access that, I have to hold this rear button here, and then I can access my rear windows like so. It is super strange. It doesn't make any sense. And then you'll hold it again to actually use the ones in the front. Really weird. I've never seen that on the car, and I don't understand why it would be there, but there it is right there. Nice little trunk button down here, and then you have your lighting controls as well as some of your defrost controls as well. Let me actually hop into the driver's seat here now, show you what that's all about. The door does feel light and a little bit like on the cost-saving sides, I'll say, instead of saying the other word. But overall, the driver's seat's pretty comfortable. I do like the steering wheel. It's not as thick as I was hoping for. I don't know why I was expecting a thicker steering wheel. But yes, unfortunately, Volkswagen is back at it again with these touch capacitive things. They feel good to touch. Like, that's not the problem. It's just not the greatest thing to use in the world. Like, that's the biggest problem I have with them. But you know what? They're there. And if you want an ID.4, this is what you're getting. So you're gonna have to live with it. And so far, these touch buttons have worked well for me. I really don't have much to complain about other than they get dirty very fast. And then we have this interesting little feature here where I can adjust my view by kind of sliding this here. That's cool. I really like that. But this column, this like little screen guy here, this gauge cluster, I guess you could call it, actually follows the steering wheel. So I could adjust the steering wheel lower or higher, wherever I want, and it follows the steering wheel accordingly, which is cool. Then right next to it, I have, this is your gear selector. So if you're wondering what the B means, it just means that it's in a higher regen and normal drive kind of acts like a normal car. Then you have neutral and reverse. You kind of slide it forwards and backwards to actually do it. And then park, you're gonna press in right there. All right, moving on to the infotainment display. And again, it's just one of those things that don't make a lot of sense. Like these things here, all these controls right here, they don't light up at night. So if you're trying to use that at night, it's best to go through the screen because these are almost useless. It does have some gesture controls. You can see it kind of lights up when my hand goes near it. Then you have like these quick stuff, like your climate controls right here, your assist buttons right here. I do like this graphic though, it's really cool. Then you have, unfortunately, your mode button is also tied in the infotainment. I wish there was a button for it on the steering wheel or somewhere, would be just way easier. But you can have your custom mode where you can change stuff like you know, how the car drives and all that stuff. So you have all this stuff, and it's really, really cool. Then eco, it's going to tell you what it's got, and you can kind of go through the modes that way. It's got a traction mode, which is basically fully all-wheel drive, which is very cool. I usually leave it in eco mode though, because I'm trying to be as efficient as I can. So part of the Pro S package, you do have some really cool ambient lighting right there that I could, you know, choose, and I can have custom. I usually have custom because I like to play with it a lot. It's like, it's really interesting, but it's really well done. I like the custom modes. You can kind of choose any color you want. Then you have some, I really like these vehicle settings that Volkswagen has. Like you can kind of flip through the settings once it actually loads. You can flip through, you can like turn around the car, and there's easy stuff to do there. Easy open, you can turn that on or off. It's kind of like when you slide your foot under the thing. I can change the windows, the wipers, the interior. I can play with the ID light, which is for the charging and stuff like that. You'll get a light like right on the console there for the navigation as well. The roof, I could adjust manually. The little sunroof there, I can adjust it so that it goes to exactly where I want, which I like. I usually love to leave it open though, because the maximum light in here is really cool. And like, yeah, you can control your different things like your heated seats, heated steering. There's no ventilation, and at the top model I wish there was, but unfortunately it isn't there. And then they have something called Smart Climate. You can also say things like, you can talk to the ID, use voice controls, and have things like, you can tell it it's too cold, it's too hot, my feet are warm, my feet are cold, and it will adjust the temperature automatically for you, which is a really cool feature. Haven't used it too much. Then you have air care that kind of purifies the air in the car by recirculating it. Very cool features, very nice stuff that you wouldn't expect to see, but I'm glad it's there. But yeah, I just really wish that this was at least lit up. If they're not gonna make it physical buttons, at least make it light up so it's easy to use. It's the only thing that doesn't make much sense here. Moving on, we got some cup holders, and I know that like this is kind of like a refresh because this really wasn't here before. Well, especially this. I know the cup holders were here, but they look way different. But this armrest wasn't here. It was actually physical armrest like you get in like a minivan kind of thing. So I actually do prefer this a lot more. Cup holders are in a very nice place. Lots of storage there. This is a wireless charging pad that actually holds your phone, which is nice. Then we have some storage in here too. I really like the nice touch, the soft touch on the dash here, and this little silver thing. It's very nice. It's definitely not really a boring interior in terms of EV interiors. It is very nice, very spacious up here for the driver. I'm very comfortable. The screen's kind of tilted, got this little screen here, so overall very, very nice. And then the passenger seat, of course, you do have massage seats here in the Pro Plus package. Very, very cool. They're very springy. I like the headrest. It's very soft. The bolstering's very good. It's not aggressive. Doesn't hug you too much. Doesn't hug you enough though. But I really do like this kind of like leatherette material. It's very nice to the touch. Very comfortable. I'll talk about seating comfort and everything else once I take it for a drive. So let me strap that GoPro on and let's take the Volkswagen ID.4 for a drive. Okay, here we are, 2023 Volkswagen ID.4 all-wheel drive Pro Plus, and the voice, because I've said the ID, so there you go. The voice controls are going on. But overall, it's been a very comfortable week once again in the ID.4. Very fun to drive. Not like a terrible thing to drive either. And then I'm just type on my brake thing. But yeah, super nice to drive. The all-wheel drive system, you can feel it pretty much at all times, which is really fun. But the unfortunate thing is, like I said, I have to come here and then I can throw it into sport mode, and then I can kind of give myself some space. And let's rip the 2023 Volkswagen ID.4. Let's see what's got. Oh boy, there's a click point in this pedal too. Yes, sir. Oh, that instant torque. Yeah, listen, no matter what electric vehicle I drive, that instant torque never gets old. And the ID.4 can kick, at least in the all-wheel drive mode. Let me turn it back here to, actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it in sport while I drive here. Let's go again. It's got the instant torque. The only thing I noticed though is that it cuts, like as soon as I let go of the throttle, it really cuts, and the regen kicks in super hard. So it's like a kick to go and a kick to stop. It's not really smooth. And sometimes when I'm flooring it, it feels like the car is like holding its power back. It feels like, it doesn't feel like it's like letting me go. It feels like it's holding me in place sometimes. It's hard to explain, but if you're ever in one, absolutely rip it and you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. When I compare it to some of the IONIQ 6 that I just drove recently, where it's like, as soon as I floored it, it gave me the kick, but then kind of like it just felt smooth. The delivery, the power delivery felt smooth. Maybe that's what it is Volkswagen just haven't fine-tuned that setting yet, but I'm sure they will. This is a great platform to improve on. The all-wheel drive system is really, really great in here. I haven't slipped, haven't lost traction. Been driving in a lot of rain this week, so really been confident with the all-wheel drive system. And in the winter, I'm sure it's going to be really good. The range has been decent as well. I'm doing about 19.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's a mouthful, but it's pretty good. I think the IONIQ 6, which was a sedan, was around the 17, so a 19 for an SUV is actually pretty on par with what you'd expect, and pretty efficient overall. But yeah, so I'm comfortable. I would do a road trip in this thing, again, barring the charge infrastructure being there. I would do a road trip in here, absolutely no problem. Like the seats are really comfortable. I like the driving position. I really, really do enjoy the ride height. I enjoy the visibility. I've got nice blind spot detection here on the side of the mirror, so it, you know, I could really, really tell when somebody's in my blind spot. The cruise control is really good. The lane keep assisting is all right. It kind of moves around a bit for my liking, but it is okay on long road trips. It would be very, very useful. It does have some sort of gesture control here. I don't know if I can get it to work, but it's, like now, see, there you go. So there's the gesture control. While you're driving, you can kind of do that if you need to. It's interesting. This gesture control, out of any Volkswagen that you've seen on this channel, the ID.4 gesture controls work the best. So they've definitely improved on that platform, which I like. Now we compare the Volkswagen ID.4 to the competition. When I'm talking about things like the Kia EV6, the Hyundai IONIQ 5, sometimes in some cases maybe the Hyundai IONIQ 6 as well. It, you know, you could tell it's missing just a little bit of personality, we'll say. You know, the IONIQ 6 and the IONIQ 5 and the EV6, they all kind of do things well. They do things that make sense, and I think that Volkswagen needs to look at what the competition is doing and add their Volkswagen twist to it. Copy it. I'm saying copy it, but add your own twist to it, you know, and just kind of make it unique, and definitely give us 4 buttons for window controls, because 2, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, you know, we're in this car for convenience, for efficiency, for not having to worry about it, and holding a button is just weird to get to the rear window controls. I get it, it saves space, I get the purpose, and it does look cool, but for overall usability, for living with it, to have to do that, to roll down the rear windows is just awkward. You can say whatever you want about the Volkswagen ID.4, but you can't say it's boring to drive because of that instant torque. That electric motor, those dual motors in this car really kick you through any corner. I love the handling. Like, even if I turn, you know, even if I dial stuff back, I put it in an eco mode or a comfort mode, it's still really good. The damping is a little bit on the rougher side, which surprised me because you know, usually Volkswagen's dampening is like ungodly. Like, it doesn't make sense how good it is, and for some reason the ID.4 doesn't have that. It depends. Like, comfort mode does help things quite a bit, but eco mode and sport mode, you're definitely getting a little bit of a rougher ride. Like, you're feeling the oscillations, especially with these crappy Quebec roads that I'm forced to drive on. You are feeling some body vibrations when you hit bigger holes and bigger cracks in the road, but it's not annoying. Like, it doesn't bother me, but because I'm testing it, I am looking for things like that, so I do notice them. But it's so fun to rip, so who cares? You know, it's like the same point. You know, it is a very fun car to drive. It's practical because it's an SUV. You fold the seats down, you got a bunch of space. There's excellent moonroof for your passengers. Maybe not so much the driver, but I like looking out the front window. Like I said, excellent visibility. The sound system is all right. It's not Beats Audio or anything. And in the Pro S model, I feel like it should be there. I don't know, maybe some of you will agree on that one, maybe some of you won't, but I feel like it should have an upgraded sound system for like the max model that the ID.4 offers. So let's do some overall thoughts for the Volkswagen ID.4. Overall, a very good choice for an electric SUV. The range is there at just over 400 kilometers with the all-wheel drive. The drivetrain is a little bit like on the rough side. Sometimes it feels like it's holding you back, but that's only when you're ripping it, and you're not going to be doing that all the time. So other than that, it's a very smooth drivetrain. It's exactly what you'd want out of an electric vehicle. It's efficient enough. The charging is easy to do. It's, you know, I use the basic home chargers when I'm, you know, when I have these cars, that I don't actually own an electric vehicle, so I use the basic one, and I've been using the basic one all week, and it's kept me in the high 80s, so perfectly happy there. The steering wheel feels great in my hands. I wish it was a little thicker though, but overall it's just a nice place to spend time. Would do a road trip in here, no problem. It does kind of lack a little bit when you do compare it to the competition, but again, if you like the Volkswagen style, because to me they've really nailed that exterior look. They've absolutely nailed it for the price point. I do love the exterior of the car. Looks super cool, futuristic yet modern. It's just, you know, it does have almost the full package. It's almost a perfect electric SUV, but if you're deciding on going with it, I think you'll be absolutely happy with it. I think it's worth the wait, and Volkswagen can't keep they can't keep them in the dealership. It's sold out on the website here in Canada. When you go on, you can't even really order it properly. You have to like wait on a waiting list just to be able to see like the full price at all the packages and stuff. So it's definitely in super high demand. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there for the 2023 Volkswagen ID.4. Like I said, overall great choice if you're considering it for an SUV. It does everything that you need and want an SUV to do, and it's electric to boot, so you're going to save a whole bunch of money there as well, and the price is actually pretty good. So overall you'll be happy, and I hope you enjoyed. If you like, leave a like. I do these, you know, every week and every time I get a car, so I try to do these as often as possible, and the more likes I get, the more subscribers I have, the more opportunities and the more cool cars I can bring you. And I hope that I've helped you make your buying decision, because it is a tough one out there. So good luck if you're on a waiting list. I hope you get one soon, and with that being said, take care. I will see you in the next one.